In the Arizona Republic AZ Central Newsroom, I'm Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb. Everyone's talking about Trump and Ukraine. You have an argument that stretches back to the Constitution and the Federalist Papers. Did the president abuse his power by asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden?
The column is actually an attempt to reach the Trump supporters who understandably believe that the president there's been attempts to unfairly take the president down from the beginning and including in the launch of this investigation. But it's important that, to borrow a phrase from Daniel Patrick Moynihan, that we don't define deviancy down. And it is simply wrong to ask a foreign leader to investigate a political rival and to ask that coordination occur with your personal attorney, not officials who staff the U.S. government.
And in the column, I mean, the way it's structured, you make the case for Trump being able to exercise his authority. You sort of make the best case scenario and then analyze why it doesn't.
I try to treat in good faith and in full context the arguments that are being made that what the president did was fine. And it requires, the argument is the president has an interest in investigating corruption. And if you're a political rival, that doesn't give you immunity from such an investigation. But a president has a legitimate interest in a specific investigation only if there's an alleged violation of U.S. law. Now, if Joe Biden did anything as vice president to protect or enrich himself or his son, that would be a violation of U.S. law. But there is no U.S. investigation to ask a foreign leader to cooperate with. The president hasn't asked for one. And the Constitution gives to the Senate the authority to decide who exercises government power on behalf of the United States.
Yeah, and that seemed a new argument that I have. For all the talk about Trump and Ukraine, this was a new one, to go back to the founding documents to why you believe it's wrong that Trump gives this power to Giuliani.
Right. I mean, the argument in favor of that is that he's president. He can work through whomever he wants. If he wants to work through Giuliani rather than the State Department, that's his prerogative. But that's not the constitutional order that the founders set up. Article 2 says that the president can appoint the officials that he exercises power through only with the consent of the Senate. And in terms of inferior officers, which is the term used in the Constitution, it is up to Congress to decide which of those that the president can appoint directly. And Hamilton in Federalist number 76 makes the case for why that's a necessary restraint. That's precisely on point, because he says without that restraint, then the president is likely to appoint people to do his personal bidding rather than the bidding of the government. Now, a lot of the Trump supporters say that they are constitutionalists. You cannot be a constitutionalist and assert that there wasn't something wrong with the role that Trump had Giuliani play in this. Now, that doesn't mean that he should be impeached. It doesn't mean that the democratic proceedings are fair. It simply means that what the president did was wrong, and in order to support him and oppose impeachment, and even to support his reelection, you don't have to defend the indefensible. You don't have to define deviancy down.
Right. It'll be interesting. The column is laid out in a very interesting fashion, makes interesting arguments. It'll be interesting to see what your reaction is, to see whether people like to defend Trump more than defending the Constitution.
Oh, no question. They do.